the streaming. And it's live. So this is the movie people. It's actually the movie and food people. Keep forgetting that. And we decided, or I decided, to do an Arnold Schwarzenegger special. And here he is. Here he is. I found this drawing. I think it's a copyright-free image, and when I first found it, I was like, that doesn't look like him. That that doesn't look like Arnold. But it actually, if you go back to 1970, he looked. He did look like this, and this is an accurate. I saw a photograph, and it looked just like this. This is how he looked. So, I'm trying to think what else to say. It takes you back actually, because Arnold Schwarzenegger was a big part of my childhood with these movies in the 90s. I mean, there were just so many, and they were, the kind of they were the kind of movies that men that us men really like, sort of action with a bit of humor, quite a lot of humor in them, a lot of action, and he did he did all sorts, didn't he? Quite a few science fiction, and well, my dad was a big he loved science fiction, and so yeah, it was a big thing in the 90s. But then, well, so I didn't know that his career started in 1970, and then let's see, I was just gonna, yeah, I didn't know that it started in 1970, and he does, goodness, so he's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's like 8. Yeah, it starts in 1970. Because you kind of think of it starting in the early 80s. You kind of think that it started with Conan the Barbarian in 1982, but it started in 1970 with Hercules in New York. And I've got a bit of an aid here in front of me, because Hercules comes to Earth, where he finds true love and starts a promising career in the wrestling and powerlifting business. It's directed by Arthur Allen Seidelman, and it's this is where things fall apart a little bit, because let's see, I don't really know much about this one. I think I have seen it, but it was a long time ago. I think there's a scene where he goes on a chariot with like a Roman style chariot with horses, and that is actually the poster in front of me here. That's the poster, and I know also that his voice, he's not able to speak English at this point, and so it's dubbed. They get somebody to dub him, but so I'm not sure who does the dubbing. Yeah, I don't know. So my wife had actually, when I first met her, she's seen this movie, so it would be I have a friend as well who's a Arnold Schwarzenegger. What we say, like a fanatic. Well, no, he knows a lot about Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he should probably be here. Uh, but I guess we'll move to the next one. It's 1982, and it's Conan the Barbarian. And I did see this. Not in 82 because I was only 1 years old, but I saw it. I'm trying to keep out of the text here. I saw it at home on the TV. I think it came on the TV. There were a lot of movies came onto TV, and we would record them. So we had this great big collection of stuff, and we had Conan the Barbarian, and it was it's a good one. And the music is really good, and the cinematography, and I do remember being young and watching it, and kind of it sort of it's a bit of a mysterious sort of movie if you were young, and but quite memorable. I particularly like the part where he finds himself in like an ancient, it kind of goes underground, and he's in like a throne room. I think it's the wind that's causing noises. It's actually gone. It's actually quite cold outside, and it's just suddenly gone like that. It was actually quite a warm day. But anyway, Conan the Barbarian was the sword work, the sword play, not sure. I need to see if there's anybody in chat. There's nobody in chat. I was expecting at least like 250,000 in waiting in chat, but there's nobody there. No one. So but yeah, it was yeah, I think we should move on. So let's move on quickly to the Terminator in 1984, and he was very, very good as playing an android with which is they say is quite hard to do. I don't know. I think I could do it. Yeah. This finger. Yeah. I can move one finger on its own, and but I think they probably wanted more than finger stuff. But he yeah, he was very, very good at doing it, and the voice, you see, I don't know if this is the first time we hear his voice. I don't know, but the voice. That's the whole thing with Arnold Schwarzenegger, was that his voice, his accent, it really it's part of the enjoyment of seeing of when we were watching him, was the voice and the strange pronunciations, and there is a story where the director and Arnold apparently argued. He wanted to say "I will be back," and the director said no, and you're doing it. "I'll be back," and the director got his way, and but yeah, it wouldn't have been. I wonder if somebody else had been the Terminator. I don't know. There are good there's Yul Brynner was brilliant as he did a brilliant menacing uh, android. Um, they called them, I think they called them cyborgs, didn't they? There's all these words, and I don't know if all these words mean different things, but um, he's I think the idea with Terminator is that he's got living what is it, tissue and over metal skeleton. Yeah, let's move on to Red Sonja. Although that's gonna be, I think that's gonna be a disaster too. But I saw it. I saw it, and I actually really liked Red Sonja. And I'll get my aid up here again, cause it's nice to have a little aid here. And I discovered. Well, okay. Try and stay on topic here. So, the fearless warrior Red Sonja sets out to avenge her family's murder and rid her kingdom from the tyrannical rule of evil Queen Gedrin. I think it. So yeah, and I remember this being quite good, and it even has Pat Roach in it, and the guy from Raiders of Lost Ark, who got the sword out and then was instantly shot, Terry Richards. And of course, Red Sonja is played by Bridget Nielsen. It says there are two of these running. That's kind of weird. I wonder if this show is going to be a total disaster. Anyway, no, so keep going. Red Sonja. I remember being quite young and quite enjoying it, but I really loved sword and sandals type of stuff, you know. I think that it's a shame that he did that Arnold Schwarzenegger didn't do like more Hercules, like like more, you know. But I guess he did fit into. I mean, we got the Conan movies and the Red Sonja, and so it was a Hercules type of character. So maybe, I don't know. In Italy, they were doing Hercules movies in the 60s, and then I don't know what happens to Hercules. It's one of these things I think they could do. It's weird. They don't seem to do much with Hercules. Red Sonja, Commando. So Commando is one of these crazy movies where it's just highly entertaining, and it's really kind of silly, and there's a ton of humor in it, and it's one of those things where it's just so entertaining. It might actually be like it might be his top. It might be in his top 5. It might actually be in his top 5. It is so entertaining. That would be interesting. How would we put? A top 5. That would be tricky, wouldn't it? Because there's just so many on the, So yeah, Commando is. I mean, we could Uh, let's see. Let's see. I don't like these silences. I don't like them. You got to keep going even if you're doing things. So it's a retired special forces colonel tries to save his daughter, who was abducted by his former subordinate, and it's directed by Mark L. Lester. And it was just, if you were young and you saw this, it was just it was one of those it was one of those movies where you're just kind of hooked. You couldn't take your eyes off it. It was just um yeah, that's Commando. So Predator 19, what does that say? 1985. I had to type in all that. 1985 Predator is uh that's a that's a John McTiernan movie, and it's just a really it's really really good. I think that Joe Granby, I'm not. I think he doesn't. He's not so fond of this one. Uh, but it's we. Yeah, no, it's I really like Predator. Yeah, I really like Predator. What can we say about it? There's. It's got great music. It's got a great monster, and I remember one time looking at it, and it intrigued me the way that the men in it sort of blend into the jungle. So I was looking, you know, the camouflage that they were wearing. I was quite fascinated with that, and of course the one-liners, or in this one, the memorable one-liners, like get to the chopper and was it does he do knock knock in this or something, or I can't remember, but we we I think that the guy who does is it Billy? I was trying to remember here. Uh, so there's a whole bunch of people in it. Let's have a look here. Arnold plays Dutch. And it's got Carl Weathers, so he's famous for being in for being Apollo Creed in uh, the Rocky movies. And then we've got Bill Duke. He's a kind of mysterious kind of, you know, like you don't yeah, he plays it quite mysteriously. And then I'm trying to think, there's a guy here. Uh, yeah, Sonny Landham, who, and again, it's a really good performance by Sonny Landham. Uh, he's playing Billy, and he's in quite a bit of the movie, and so, and of course Predator. You know, it the creature design is just really really great, and the idea, I think, you know, of an alien species coming down, and I think he was meant to be. I'm trying to word this. Oh boy, he comes down to. Sometimes I think it's like a test. But yeah, I just really like Predator. Uh, And then we've got, after that, we have Red Heat. And Red Heat is the one where he's a Russian. And it was quite entertaining as well. These movies, it does have to be said that they were quite violent, and sometimes it's quite gory. They actually cut out a sequence of gore, and I didn't see it for a really long time in Predator. And it was a scene where like a man lost his arm, and there was quite a lot of blood. And when they showed that on ITV, they cut it out. So I didn't know about that for quite some time. Red Heat, yeah, Red Heat is, yeah, it's like a Russian cop is sent over to work with a American cop, and so it's like a sort of fish out of water kind of thing, and it had really good music. Yeah, I think that's a reoccurring sort of thing here, is that the movies that Arnold the movies that Arnold chose always had good music, and they always had quite a high quality going on. Uh, so we'll jump to Total Recall, and Total Recall was, of course, oh, so goodness, what's he called? It's actually quite quite a violent movie, and that's kind of crazy. I can't remember the name of the director. Is it Paul Verhoeven? That's it. So it's a Paul Verhoeven movie, and science fiction, and a Philip K. Dick story of the idea being that you go into virtual reality, and then you, inside the virtual reality, you come out of the virtual reality, but you didn't actually come out because you're still in there, but it sort of tricked you into thinking that you had come out. I think that happens in the movie, and that's a very interesting idea, kind of scary actually. But it has a lot of special effects in it. And when was it made? So 88. Yeah, They were doing a lot of really. There was a lot of really good special effects in Total Recall, and it has some weird. It's got some weird stuff in it, and yeah, if you were young and you saw this, it was kind of it was pretty odd at times. It was probably, I wonder, it was probably an R-rated. I probably was not meant to be looking at it. I don't know when I saw it, but Total Recall, yeah. So then I decided to put in Terminator 2. Terminator 2, 1991. He comes back to do the Terminator again after how many years is that? It's like 7 years. So he looks quite different in it. He's got 7 years older, and but I mean, he looks really different from how he looked in 1970. Yeah, that this drawing here is quite interesting. So, Terminator 2, of course, is famous for the well, I mean, it's just kind of everything, isn't it? It's got great action sequences. It has the the amazing special effects, which were pioneering special effects at the time, and and it must have been quite the roller coaster ride in the movie theater. I saw it on a small screen, and I was just blown away at the time. But you gotta understand that I was so I mean I must have been about 13, 14 or something. So I think, but it's so long ago. It's rather fuzzy, and we don't really know the the. But we don't want to get bogged down on the on being too um pedantic. Is it? I don't know. Pedantic. Uh, so I have been called pedantic though. So um then after this, 1994 is that right? No, 91. Oh dear, my eyesight. Yeah, 94 is True Lies. It looks like we've got people coming and going, and I don't think they're finding me. I don't think they're finding me entertaining. So, I've been told that if you speak very, very quickly, and then kind of slow it down, and and then speed it up a bit. Speed it up. And True Lies, 1994 was another one. It was another James Cameron movie, and they were really, at this point in time, I think, both Cameron and Schwarzenegger, they were on a bit of a roll, and it was just very like what we call this we'd call this like on a roll. They were on a roll. And it was just very fine, well executed. They were top of their game. So True Lies is I definitely recommend it, and it's kind of like a sort of, I mean, I don't know if we could call it a comedy, but there's a lot of humor in it, and it's a bit like a sort of James Bond. Is it like a James? I don't know if we could call it. It's kind of maybe it's a bit like a James Bond. I don't know. So, not really. So, I'm not quite sure why I put Eraser on here, but that comes in 1996, and I remember some special effects in there. There's I think there's an alligator, like a CG alligator, and there's a plane which gets like an engine. I think I can't remember what gets thrown into the engine, but it causes the engine to kind of blow up or damage it, and then there's that was. I remember these. They stuck out at the time. They were special effects that sort of they're kind of like printed on my brain. I can't unsee them, and I haven't even really watched Eraser like all that many times. It's I think that's the one with the weapon, isn't it? He's got like a weapon, and special effects for that weapon were pretty cool too, with the rings. I think it had like rings that went round, but I think the movie I don't remember it being it's definitely not one of his best ones. So then I don't even know if the sound is. People might be. They might be going away because of some problem with the sound. And I might be doing 40 minutes here with bad sound. It's possible. We just don't know. It says that OBS is open twice. I don't think that can be good, but I just don't know. So I'm gonna kind of go to the end, I think. And so Batman and Robin. I did see that at the movie theater. Goodness, that might be the I don't know. That might be the only Arnold Schwarzenegger movie I saw at the movie theater. It might be. I don't think it was received very well, and it was at the time. I believe it was the most expensive movie ever made, and he is Mr. Freeze, and there's a lot of one-liners in it, and George Clooney was Batman. For just one movie, and Terminator 3 is oh dear, that's getting tricky to see. That's tricky for me to see what that says. It says 2003. So Terminator 3 2003. Terminator 3 is I like Terminator 3 for some reason. I don't know why I like it, but it's very it's quite entertaining, and but it's a strange movie because I keep going on about this, and I'm probably not very good at explaining it, but it is a strange one, and it's like a remake of the second one. But then it has like a completely different, like it stops being a remake at a certain point, when it has that ending. And the ending's really good. That's quite a cliffhanger. And it's yeah. I think it's directed by Jonathan Mostow, and who did Breakdown. And so we move to The Last Stand. That's actually quite a jump, isn't it? 2003 to that's 10 year. That's a decade. The Last Stand was I think The Last Stand is quite a good one, and I don't know what else to say about it, but I thought it was quite a good one. Maybe there is somebody watching at the moment. Is the sound okay? Could you tell me if the sound is all right? Because I've been going for 33 minutes, and it would be a shame. It would be a shame if it was all messed up because of the sound. I have lost things in the past through bad sound. It just seems to be a thing that happens. Okay, so Escape Plan is the one where he is with Sylvester Stallone, and I actually really like that one too. It's a good one. It's a good one. Was it? I don't care what anybody else has to say about it. I think it was quite good. And then, oh, sorry, we got a train going by at the moment. It's always awkward. Oh, it's getting quieter. And it's been a while since I saw it, but I did like it. Escape Plan. I think there's an Escape Plan too. Yeah. And then Aftermath. So we got to the end here. Aftermath is sort of serious movie, and it's based on a true story. I think, is it based on a true story? We got any? Have we got any Arnold Schwarzenegger fans in the chat room? I think it's based on a true story, and I really liked it. I really liked it. It's quite a serious movie, but it's just he's just really good at selecting scripts, and so but I think it's not only that. It's not only that he's good at selecting scripts, but he's good at selecting directors. And they said he's good at selecting new, like upcoming directors who have a lot of talent. And it was a really one heck of a career in movies, really. And that's really all I have to say about it. And I guess there's actually 2 people in the chat room now. I don't know how to cope when there's people in there. Well, not in the chat room, they're just watching. So, but we don't know who they are. But there is another. I can go on further, but it does get awkward. There's a movie called so it's called no. It was way down at the bottom, and it had Jeff Bridges is in it, and I was really surprised. Jeff, oh boy. Stay Hungry is the name of the movie. Stay Hungry. And it has, it's called Stay Hungry, and I thought that Stay Hungry was a documentary, but it isn't. It's a 1976 R-rated comedy drama. And it's got Jeff Bridges in it, and it even has Scatman Crothers, yeah, from The Shining. I thought that was very interesting. I don't think I've seen it, but I just always thought that was a documentary. You know, it says it's so-called special agent infiltrates into the gym, which is targeted by a dirty business fraud. That's not a documentary. That's not a documentary. So, of course, there's Conan the Destroyer, which is the sequel to Conan the Barbarian, which I did see it. But it's an awfully long time ago. And you know how it gets when you're old, you can't remember things very clearly. And then he did Twins, which I haven't seen that either. A Kindergarten Cop, I have not seen it yet. Last Action Hero, Collateral Damage. I know that he, so I think in between Batman and Robin and End of Days, Arnold Schwarzenegger, I think, had a triple bypass. And you shouldn't. Okay. That we lost the 2 people who were watching. That's okay. I think it's when you start saying you haven't seen any of the movies. That would probably do it. So I think he had a triple bypass, and I think that he ended up coming back, and he looked a little bit different, as it would do that to you. Um, I think we should have ended it. We shouldn't have continued. So I'm going to end it at 40 minutes, and we'll see what if the sound came out. Because that's kind of